flag. Didn't come this far just to turn back. The curtains fall for the last act. Breaking that levee, breaking that levee. We don't back down, this is what we're made of. Standing our ground, here it goes down. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Oh, wait and see, we're gonna be legendary. Ain't no time like the here and now. Yeah, we showed up, now we showing out. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary. We don't back down, this is what we're made of. Standing our ground, here it goes down. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Oh, wait and see, we're gonna be legendary. Ain't no time like the here and now. Yeah, we showed up, now we showing out. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary.
I got metal running through my bones, a resurrection like a ghost. Hurricane, go ahead and blow. Where you could keep your white flag, I'll never fold. A shadow on the battlefield, a survivor never yield. A thunder, go ahead and shake. Don't run from the storm when I feel the rain. There's no rest for the wicked, no victory for the weak. And when the weeds getting thicker, you'll never see me on my knees. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. I got a fever in my blood, a falling embers from above. I feel the heat when the pressure blows, a wildfire that you can't control. There's no rest for the wicked, no victory for the weak. And when the weeds getting thicker, you'll never see me on my knees. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. With every beat of my heart, I'll be the light in the dark. You can't control this, I'm explosive. You can't control this, it's 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 explosive.
years of speed, 10 years of stories. For the past 10 years, we've been more than just spectators. We've been the heartbeat of local racing, growing alongside the tracks, drivers, and fans who make it all possible. From the dusty turns to the checkered flags, we've shared every triumph and every challenge, making memories that last a lifetime. As we mark this milestone, we're not just looking back, we're revving up for the future. We are expanding, bringing you even more racing, more coverage, and more ways to connect with the adrenaline-fueled world we love. Our commitment to the local racing community is unwavering, and the next chapter promises to be our most exciting yet.
Welcome to coverage of iRacing on LSRTV, the Stars and Stripes Racing League, and the next round, the quarterfinals of the On the Throttle podcast bracket challenge. Tonight, we're on the twists and the turns and the S's and the chicane and the bus stop. That is Watkins Glen International. I'm Wesley. I'm alongside is Jeremy Stanley. First time working with him. You hear his voice usually with the Throttle Sim series with Jason Rockefeller, my other league on tonight. Charles Wooten pushing the buttons and handling production here. Jeremy, road course racing, completely different animal than around the world of obviously the circles. But man, you know, as we approach the end of this bracket challenge with all of these drivers battling one another, another thing hangs in the balance, and that is the road to the playoffs. A road course race could be very pivotal or disastrous for drivers that are either on the in or the outside trying to get in.
Yeah, 100% here. You got 3 races left, I guess, until the 5-race playoff shoot. You'll have to go in detail on that if for those who need to catch up, and me especially, being first time here, of course. And, you know, this is a different animal compared to the ovals, but if you look at these lap times out here so far, all these drivers within like the top 15 are under 2 seconds of one another. So it might not be side by side, but these guys are going to be packed up, I think, for a little bit here in their own sections, and I think it's going to be a pretty good race here.
Here is a look at the bracket and the quarterfinals, and there you see the who have advanced into the cold trickle bracket and the Rowdy Burns bracket. And from there on, we'll move into the final brackets to the semifinals and the finals. That'll be decided with the winner at Talladega. Look at this. Mark Ryan and Lynch, they're going to battle. Greg Hammond, Mark Fish from the Rowdy Burns bracket. And then you got the higher seed of Coy, Will Bustler, Ross Tatum, and Jason Gratton. Now, what's so cool is it's like a race within a race, if you will. Jeremy, you literally are going to be against all these guys on the racetrack, but you're running against these guys for also bragging rights and points. And the better you advance your position, it's all about trying to one-up the guy you're in the bracket with to advance to see where you go in the challenge.
It's kind of cool for the mid-season stuff, right? You're just kind of logging laps and making sure you do good point stuff. But this in-season type of challenge is kind of unique. It's the first time I've seen it in the sim world. I know the NBA has been doing it this year, at least started it. And I think it's kind of cool to spice up the mid-season lull and bleed you right into the playoffs. So it kind of keeps these drivers on their toes just a little bit more.
Qualifying on track. Let's get it started. Look at Kyle and those beautiful stars and stripes on the DuPont colors. Man, if I had to choose a good-looking car for the car award, it would have to be his right out of the gate. What a nice-looking wrap job on the 7 Chevrolet.
Yeah, it's an amazing paint job there. I love the flames, of course, from the Gordon days, and kind of reminiscent of that with the American flag twist too. There, appreciate the colors, and it's a beautiful car. I've not seen too many flame paint jobs. I know they're way overused in the early 2000s, but I'm one of the few people who have lost that touch, or not have lost that touch, and really just enjoy seeing it. And I don't mind running it from time to time myself. And I wish more people would do it, really.
Kyle McCoy, the number 7 machine. Let's see what he can do on track with qualifying. All these other drivers around the track. Take your pick. You got cars everywhere now. You could follow either or. Right now we'll see what kind of lap he puts down. As almost everybody, for the most part, on the racetrack, including Waldo, Whitaker, Lynch, Schrader, Hammond, Rickard.
Kind of have to go with the guys there on top of the point standings that are also fast in this practice session. It looks like McCoy's looking strong, Rickard's looking real strong, Smith. The guys that can do it on the oval are also doing it on the road course. Pivotal to win that championship at the end of the season. And these guys know what they're doing. Does not matter the track style. As long as they know the car, they're going to get the job done. And practice and qualifying time holds as Kyle gets the first time on the boards with a 13.6, 2/10 slower from his practice time. Rickard hits his 13.698, just a hair slower than his practice time.
James Howard, Verizon 5G qualifying. There's the Verizon 5G Chevrolet Camaro on the racetrack. Stars and Stripes Racing League rolling on here. It's obviously Kyle McCoy, top of the board. To get it started here.
A lot of loose right there.
Yeah, wow.
Gonna hurt his speed down the straightaway here. Gets a 13.3. I thought I was gonna slow down his time, but he just pulled out a really fast lap time there. Puts him top of the board, 3/10 faster than second place Kyle McCoy with about 10 times taken so far.
The Butt Kicker Grand Prix here at Watkins Glen. And as I mentioned, this is the William Duff working off the corner. The 17 on the throttle podcast entry. There's the man out of the Queen City, the 17. We'll see where he ends up.
A little bit of a conservative exit there off of turn 6 carousel.
Yeah.
Coming through the fastest corners on the track. The ones you don't want to overshoot there on exit. You're going to burn up your tires, so you want to conserve those a little bit. A little conservative on the braking there. Not going to be a fast time here for the 17 William Duff. Coming to the line here to complete his time. He's going to put himself on the board with... Actually, no, that's going to be his opening time there, actually. That explains it, but really shallow inch there into turn number 1. This car is not looking good right now.
Yeah, definitely got to find some speed, no doubt. And you know, Jeremy, I know this is your first foray into the Stars and Stripes Racing League, but I can tell you also that tonight so far, I have seen a lot of the drivers had some very special wrap jobs or different color paint schemes for this race too. So that's really awesome to watch.
You know, that explains my end over here. I'm looking over on the broadcast screen. He's rocking a white 17 on the throttle podcast, and I look over on my session and he's rocking a black on the throttle podcast car. So kind of, he said mix up the paint schemes. I'm seeing it in live person, so I'm gonna try to stay tuned on that screen so I can see what you guys are looking at, whoever's watching over on LSRTV right now. But yeah, I love people when they can change the scheme up every race, every other race. It makes our end a little bit more difficult week in and week out. But I love seeing creativity and being a designer myself. Absolutely. Bring it on.
This is Verizon 5G Fast Pole Award qualifying for the Butt Kicker at the Glen. The Butt Kicker Grand Prix. And look out, Duff! Going off track there, as I think he's going to be happy with 16th. Here comes Ryan Lynch in the Cookout Ford on the speedway now.
come out here late into this qualifying session. Just under 4 minutes left to get his lap time clocked. It takes 1:15 around this track, at least coming out of the pit road. And then it depends on how fast you run your lap time. So that's going to put him in that 3.5 minute bracket. So he is cutting it real close here. I think he can get his lap time in, but he's got to make 0 mistakes here. Not like that right there. He's going to really slow up this time. He's going to be real close to hitting that 0 second mark.
Yeah, can't make that mistake for sure right now watching Ryan Lynch on his opening lap. This is his warm-up lap. So the good news is he can take that and throw it away to try to start over. But this is where it counts the most. And in under 3 minutes, he has got to put down a pretty good lap right now in Verizon 5G Fast Pole Award qualifying here at the Glen. The man to beat is James Howard. Ironically, in the Verizon car, 1:13.330. This is it on the clock for Lynch. Oh boy, almost lost the rear end. There he goes. Oh, I knew it was happening a mile away there, Jeremy.
Not going to be able to post time. Jumps out of the car. He tried to give it every single bit of car he could put in that turn number 1 and just overdid it. Got loose on exit. Qualifying session over for the number 31. Now we're going to jump over to number 30. Joshua Robinson here going through carousel turn number 6. Little loose through the center of that corner. Makes his exit a little slow. That's one corner, Wesley, you do not want to mess up in, because look at this huge straightaway you get. If you have to be conservative on exit and can't get the throttle down, you're going to lose so much time on your lap. So that's one of the pivotal corners here this evening.
Joshua Robinson and that Chevrolet Camaro on the racetrack. We'll see what he can do. 1:15.032, good enough for 14th. And there's about 1:25 seconds left to go in sim time for qualifying in the Verizon 5G Fast Award qualifying. Who has got anything for James Howard? Jeremy, Joshua's going to try to get one more shot out of here to go for the second lap.
Nope, never mind. He tried way too hard there. A little too sharp on the right-hand turn. Goes to the left and has to sharp left turn to compensate. And it just too much speed, not enough grip, going to send the number 30 around. He will not be able to attack that lap time. And I do believe that is the final car on track as we sit. So right now, 19 times on the board. That'll be your official count with just over 30 seconds left. And it looks like James Howard and the 29 is going to bring it. P1 by just a mere 14 one-thousandths of a second over the 81 Christopher Smith. Road course, you have 1:13 lap time, and you're that close to one another. That's insane.
Yeah, pretty good lap right there put down, and it looks like the clock will expire real quickly. Let's take a look at the oh wow, look at it. We're looking live looking on LSRTV, and this is the Oklahoma 99ers at Tri-State Speedway practice night. So how about that? Looking at a live look-in here at the racetrack. You go, Charles. And real quickly, let's check in on Kaufman Creative weather conditions as well before we give you the starting lineup, as we haven't done that. So there it is, 78 degrees sim time, 2 mile an hour wind speed. Track temp at the Glen, 9 turns, 100. Partly cloudy. Starting lineup, let's do it for the butt kicker at the Glen. And the butt kicker Grand Prix, James Howard. He is your Verizon 5G Fast Pole Award qualifier in that beautiful car as well. And Christopher Smith alongside. 2, we'll find Kyle McCoy in that DuPont Stars and Stripes Flaming number 7. To the outside, Scott Rickard in the Tire Pro 05. Row 3, Thomas Ogle and Derek Offerman, the 11 and 20. Row 4, we'll find Josh Whitaker. Diego Valle, good to see him back again. And your top 10, Jeremy Stanley, will find Trayton And Greg Hammond, your top 10.
11th through 20th, we have Andrew Hess. And then 12th place will be James Waldo. 13th place, Mark Schrader. And 14th place, the number 30 at Joshua Robinson. 15th is going to be Zach Kreitz. And 16th place will be Nate Lynch. 17th, Jason Grayton. Followed up on the outside of him is Dylan Grimm in 18th. And then 19th and 20th, William Duff in the 17. And the 88th of Timmy McNally.
There you go. It's right there, row 11. Row 12 of the Glen will find Paul Thomas, Zachary Smith, starting row 13, Lynch, and Ryan Lynch. And yes, they're related. And that is the starting lineup, 26 cars.
Those guys being
there you
related
go.
need to work on their I ratings, being dead last in the field, paired up next to one another, keeping it similar, being in the family, and with the I rating times being very similar.
Yeah, all in the family, as they say. Getting ready to come to the green flag. The Stars and Stripes Racing League on LSRTV is presented by these fine sponsors. Thanks, of course, as always, to Butt Kicker. Tonight, Butt Kicker from Old. Next Level Racing. On the Throttle podcast and the sponsor of the Bracket Challenge. The podcast is available on all platforms and outlets. And Verizon. The Verizon 5G Fast Pole Award, a winner going to the driver, Howard. And Verizon 5G is the nation's fastest 5G network worldwide. Yes, I use it as well. Field ready to come to the green flag as they work down that final part of the racetrack. Jeremy Stanley before we turn them loose.
Two more corners here, and these guys are going to set sail into turn number one. Going to be the most challenging part of this race is opening lap, turn number one. I don't think there's any full course cautions, so if they stack them up,
should be 40 laps.
That's it.
Yep. Should be a fun one. Ready to strap in. And by the way, amongst the race, it is also the On the Throttle podcast bracket challenge finals. 4 are going to get eliminated, and 4 are going to the semifinals. And we are green in the Butt Kicker Grand Prix at Watkins Glen. You have a virtual race. Let's feel the roar to the back straightaway, shall we? Off of the partial backstretch of the racetrack here at the Glen, as we are underway for 40 laps the distance.
Saw one car go to the bus stop off.
Yeah.
What is that?
I said I'm loving them camera angles, dude.
He's got them posted all around this track. He's got a real nice camera pack. I love the non-motion cameras here around this facility. They have so many good angles you can bring in. It looks like one guy's coming down pit road from one of those angles. Nope, he stays on track. He just took a really shallow entrance there into turn number 8. Never seen that early into the corner.
And Howard will lead the opening lap. By the way, we're 40 laps the distance here at Watkins Glen. So I'm literally thinking, man, this race should be done in over an hour if everybody follows their P's and Q's and races nice and clean. Look at this now. McNally battles with the 24 racetrack.
Yeah, they're going to still nice. Pretty racy back here. We saw them after they got to the bus stop through the carousel. They all went single file for a little bit, but back here in the back half, after the front stretch. They started going 2x2 a little bit, but back to the carousel, going down the long straightaway is I would tell. Oh, the 17 is going to go around here. Saves at the last moment. Gets some right side damage. William Duff in the wall just a little bit. But no harm, no foul to everybody else around him.
William Duff off track. Maybe we'll grab a couple of replays along the way and show you what happened. As there's the 17 back rolling again on the Throttle Podcast. Loving the wrap job on that car, by the way, Jeremy. That's sharp. Look at this. Here's a replay. If we can find it, we'll track it down. We'll show it. Even on the road course. Look at this, Jeremy. What happened here? Wasn't that bad.
Just to scrape to the fender. I don't think it's going to hurt his performance, but the thing just on edge. Tires not fully warmed up yet, and just kind of gave it too much throttle, spun it around.
And Howard, Smith, McCoy, and Kyle McCoy, my understanding, fastest man in the race so far, 1:13.490. As Timmy McNally going off track in the 8 Bass Pro Shops. Right there in the chicane. Or bus stop, as we call Jeremy, sometimes, right?
Yeah, exactly. I've always forever known it as the bus stop, and if anyone says anything different, they're wrong. At least in my book. So it's twice in 3 laps we've seen it. And I saw something on my angle too in the very back of the lap 3, the 51 and the 13 got together, but they didn't spin out. They just kind of checked up their lap time a little bit. So we've seen 3 separate incidences within now 4 laps here with this butt kicker Grand Prix.
You know what I would love to see brought back, Jeremy, at the Glen? And that's the boot. I'd love to see the boot. I want to see the boot come back.
That is on so many people's checklist that for NASCAR to make happen. It's accessible, right? If they could just open the gate, make it happen. We talked about it, I think, a lot during COVID times where everyone's just trying new things. They could have easily opened that boot up, and it would have been a blast. Just take it.
Yeah.
It's so much fun in that section. If you've not driven it yet on iRacing, just try it one time. It's definitely worth your time.
Just hit it head on, go through the barrier.
You can do that too, yeah.
The other side, right?
Get that butt kicker working.
Yeah, man. The vibrating racing seat.
Yeah.
Here at the Butt Kicker Grand Prix.
Not what it's intended for, but it'll definitely bring you some some attention underneath your butt. That's for sure, man.
Oh. This is a PG show. Oh, it actually says not safe for kids. Okay. Howard, McCoy, Smith, Rickard, and Valle, the top 5. Look at, was that Rickard? Almost going off course there. Look at him.
Yeah. Yep. Left side's off into the grass there on the exit. The wide sweeping turn 3. Turn 4, I would say, but yeah, the 70's a little loose there. Looking back through the field here to the quote-unquote DRS zone here if you're an F1 style car. A little side-by-side. 10's going to break early there. Good call. Going side-by-side in that bus stop is not fun at all and highly not recommended.
That's the driver in the 16th spot, Mark Schrader in the FBR Willett Engineering Toyota. Right behind him, Zach Kreitz, Chevrolet there. This part, everybody just minding their P's and Q's. And hey, we're a handful of laps into this thing already. 5-6 laps into it.
Yeah, 5 laps down,
fairly
35
quickly, right?
to go. Yeah, the top, their 2nd through 6th have been keeping really close times. James Howard, he's already got a 2.1 second advantage over Kyle McCoy, who's taking over 2nd, up 1 position from his qualifying time. So James Howard's on a rail here. Everybody else right behind him is they're within draft distance of one another. That might go away soon, but they're still for being a road course 5-6 laps in there, Wesley. This is they're still looking pretty sporty.
Back straightaway, if you want to call it that. Actually, that's off of the carousel. Now they're, no, it was the backstretch. My apologies. Now they're in the bush chicane, coming out of the S's. And man, the S's, Jeremy, they were going 3 and 4 wide on the start, and the S's, I mean, they were getting after it. I was kind of like, hold your breath there for a second watching them race there.
Nope, it looked like he maybe went off course just a touch there. Ryan Lynch in the 31. And getting through this corner pretty good. There's actually, at least on the road course side cars like the GT3s, if you drop that right side tire on the rumble strip, I feel like there's a little extra grip to be found. Not sure in the Xfinity cars, but I prefer to run that rumble strip. You feel it a little bit more in the wheel and your seat, of course, if you're rocking a butt kicker unit, but a little more speed there to be had.
Now, the boot, can you go on iRacing and use the boot? Can you drive on the boot on iRacing, Jeremy?
1000%, you sure can. And you're going to see that boot being used on the Watkins Glen 6i race that they do every single year to simulate the IMSA series stuff. And they rock the boot. And it's a lot of fun, I think.
I like the boot. Bring the boot back. Hashtag LSR, bring back boot. Hey, by the way, let's take another live look at Son's coverage. Look at this. We have sim racing and we have real racing. As we will be in a minute. There it is. Look at this. Look at this, Jeremy. Modified's on the race cup of tea.
My mind went to the exhibit quote where you're like, yo, dog, I heard you like racing. So we put racing on your racing. And here you go. Picture-in-picture mode with 2 different sets of cars, 2 different surface types, 2 different everything. One's at night, one's at day. You have it, man. Everything you want all in one picture.
Like all of these different places. Lines. We got Josh and Rachel Polk. I'm sorry. Picking Grattan and Kreitz. Go Grattan and Kreitz. For watching. Stars and League. There's Diego Valle. He's doing really good. Valle, a couple of wins at the start of the season.
One person to mention the 30, Joshua Robinson, already up 7 positions from the start of the race. The highest mover in the field so far, 14th to 7th. And I've also noticed the 24, Brian Lynch, who did not qualify. He went from 25th to 19th, up 6 spots. So even though we've only ran 8 completed laps out of 40, we got some guys out here that are just picking cars off left and right, almost a car lap average here. That was a 29 on my end. The race leader really out of shape through the fast S's here at the top of the hill. It's going to allow Kyle McCoy to really bring him in. You see him only 3 car lengths coming to the bus stop here. And just that 29 right now, James Howard not looking comfortable on this lap. Turn 6 here,
They're beautiful,
really wide
looking
3rd place
7,
there.
man. Love that car. If I had to vote for the best appearing, McCoy would get it hands down. I'm telling you.
It's hard to turn your eye away from it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, our producer, Charles, decides differently. He's like, this is really easy to do here. And there we are. Now we're focused on somebody else through the field, which is fair, which is really fair.
It looks like something on the bottom. Go before us. Ready. Available. Yeah.
See, Charles Wesley did it smart. He did that before coming in here, so at least a little 3-wide action on the front straightaway here to open up lap number 10. 20.54 into 5. They're going to remain 2 wide through turn number 1. Now the 20 checks up hard there. Going to allow him to go by, so we go back to single file once more as they go up the hill through the S's.
I'm loving it.
A little freestyle
Look at
action
54
going here.
right
We
there.
finally got the
Yes.
tower pulled up.
Well, I have
bus stop
SDK for live timing, right? So I'm like looking, but didn't realize the tower was not up. So, yeah.
It is A-okay, yeah. You got it now, so you can see who your favorite driver is right now. Through the field, you see the lead is really close. And until you get to 4th, 5th, 6th, and then it really starts to fall off in time there. As this pack right behind the racer, you see the times 0.4, 0.9. They are all over that number 29, James Howard. So this right now is definitely the race to watch here. As any one of these guys makes one slip up, and it's going to change the course of this battle here, as the 29 is still very loose on top of the hill.
Diego Valle right now 5th position, but here comes Tom Ogle trying to reel him into the White Claw, number 11. Single file. Man, look at this. Through the cane, through the bus stop. Sorry, Jeremy, the bus stop.
There we go. There we go. I never got dropped off at high school or middle school, and it was called the chicane. It's always the bus stop.
You know, they had to change it to keep the liberals from getting mad, right?
100%. We're going to come off with turn number 9 here, or turn number 8 rather. Really close, still 3 car lengths away, but this number 05, Mr. Scott Rickard, just really closing in on to Kyle McCoy here. This lead continues to get closer and closer to one another. And this is where the 29 struggling. Watch him, but see if he can get a solid up the hill this time. He's right there. His tail kicks out. Now he's going to the left. When he gets back to the right, I think he's going to really kick out again. He's actually going to be a little conservative on the throttle, and it's going to bring McCoy right to his bumper. Does he attack? He gets his nose to the inside. He's going to take a look. Gets on the brake early. Going to play it safe, single file through the bus stop once more.
By the way, you call it a bus stop. I call it a chicane. Do you know what the original name was?
You know, I don't know that fact. What is it?
The inner loop. The inner loop and the outer loop. Charles, it was called the backstretch at Watkins Glen that we were referring to. So, yeah.
Okay.
Inner loop.
I mean,
and
I've
outer
heard that
loop.
term.
It's now known as the carousel. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. The 7 makes contact with 29 of Howard. What a save to not completely go 180. But, man, that's going to cost him a bunch of time. Thankfully, did not collect James Howard in that. But he's going to lose about, 2.5 seconds now. And his tires are mad at him. So he's got a few laps to get them cooled off and then go back on the attack.
Watkins Glen International is 3.907 kilometers, and it is 2.428 miles long. That is almost the distance of Daytona International at 2.5 miles in a tri-oval circle. This is a road course.
Yeah, the times are about 20 seconds difference roughly, depending on which car you're racing, I suppose. But yeah, it's all bottled up into a really fast road course. And this has always been one that I like to look out for. I love driving Sonoma. I love driving all the other ones. But the ones to watch on TV or on the broadcast, it's always Watkins Glen. You get a little bit of everything, a little bit of speedway action, get some road course stuff. It's just a good, solid mix.
Oh, yeah, man. There were, I thought, literally that some of the road course races were maybe some of the best races in NASCAR. Besides, you have the super speedway, the product of what that is and what you get. But, man, I mean, you look at the early 2000s and Marcus Ambrose and Kyle Busch, the crazy races they used to have with one another, obviously. Yeah, take fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed Marcus Ambrose. Who doesn't remember that Marcus Ambrose finished here at Watkins Glen? Quick mention, too, as these guys are going up the hill, going side by side. Kind of tricky to do when these tires have really fallen off. That last lap by, on the race lead, you see the tower. It's no longer the 29. Mr. Scott Rickard in the 05 has taken over the race lead. There's a kick it over to them right now. He's got about a 4 to 5 car length advantage going through turn 6 here. Runs it much wider on that corner exit. He is carrying the speed here.
Watkins Glen, obviously, watching them working around the track. And, well, we were trying to find something here. And here's a look at it. Replay.
Yeah, looks like we're trying to find the pass for the race lead. This is back to where the 05 was behind Mr. Howard.
Oh, this is, okay, this is the pass for the lead.
Exactly
right here. Right,
there's the mistake. Howard really wide through that bus stop there and just gave up his 6-7 car length lead, and then now he's paying the prices over a half a second back at the moment. But,
coming out of the bus stop,
to the
outer loop, and yeah, coming out of the bus stop, if you will, out of the inner loop, entering the outer loop of the carousel, took advantage of it, and the new leader, Scott Rickard. Howard in second now, and here comes McCoy. He had problems earlier, remember, in third, and behind them, look at this big battle between Valle and Robinson. They got Smith in front of them.
Yeah, this is a fun little battle here between these two. Been hashing out for the past 3 or 4 laps. They remember a couple laps ago, they were side by side going up the hill in the S's. And even though that pass was completed, he's still not letting go well within that draft period, which you can definitely utilize here on the front straightaway, heading to turn 6 and coming out of turn 6. The straightaways are long enough. Draft can do a little bit, but number 11 of Thomas just gets wicked loose on corner exit. He's going to give up a bunch of time.
Thank you for those on iRacing on LSRTV. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell to keep up with all the content of all the racing action that it always provides here for iRacing. In addition to that, Rickard is the man in the front. Howard second. McCoy, Smith, Valle the top 5. We're single file. They work their way back around the racetrack.
It's a really good battle right here on your screen here. A couple of really close cars on track. There's a couple of packs. Like, this is the biggest one right here. And you have your 2 race leaders that are half a second. The gap between these 3 are only just a couple seconds at most. So just a little bit of, I don't want to call it pack racing, but they're like little mini packs here. And there's a bunch of gaps in between. So there's just little fun things going on all around this track so far through the first 16 laps.
Or not, man, we're closing in on the halfway mark of this race. This race flying by fairly quickly. Again, we kind of hinted on that this track is just about shy of 2.5 miles at Daytona. And here at Watkins Glen, 40 laps is only 100 miles. It flies by pretty fast here.
Yeah, it definitely can, being the fastest timed road course per lap compared to any other road course we go to. We see one taker on pit road already. This is I think the 28 here of Josh Whitaker on lap number 17, which is just shy of the halfway point. I'm not sure what the field strategy looks like if they can make it past lap 20, but at least from my perspective, the 28 will not be making that. You'll have to come down one more time if it is a field concern.
Watkins Glen International, where we are tonight for the next round in the Stars and Stripes Racing League. In addition to that, it is also the Full Throttle podcast, on the throttle, on the podcast, Bracket Challenge. Meaning that we're in the quarterfinals. Started with 3 drivers. We're down now to what, 8 remaining quarterfinals, and basically drivers are racing amongst themselves in bracket while they're racing on the racetrack. I was a fan of this when I first saw it launch a couple of weeks ago, Jeremy. I think it's really cool. I like it.
Yeah, as we talked about there in the beginning, it's just put a little spice into the mid-season there, and it kind of sets them up for the playoffs for the final 5 races of the 2024 season over here for the Stars and Stripes Racing League. And yeah, it looks entertaining. They're having some fun with it, with some fun characters along the way to sort the brackets out. But then you also have a final qualifier, the last chance qualifier on the bottom half of the bracket. So just it really brings something fun to the table for these guys to have some fun mid-season. That's from any league experience I have, Wesley, is you go to a league, you have 60 cars that sign up day one, right? And then you're 10 weeks in, and that goes down to about 30 to 25. And then you get toward the end, and all of a sudden it's back up in the 40s. So this is the way to just keep people entertained all season long, and hopefully we see more of it from other leagues.
No, you're exactly right, man. You got to love it for sure, and definitely watching all of this transition as we are closing in on the halfway mark of this. Hey, we haven't done it in a while, so let's step away as we are approaching halfway of this event. We'll at least get to cross flags coming up in a couple of more laps. We'll step away. We'll be back in the second half from the Butt Kicker Grand Prix on the way. This is iRacing on LSRTV, Stars and Stripes Racing League. Halfway here at the Glen. And play. Don't forget about the dirt car comp cam dirt series. You saw the promo, and then the bottom left. Oh, they're going to have fun this Friday and Saturday night. Saturday night is the Cow at 50 for 5,000 to win, and they're going to be at course too. But that's what they're calling their race. Going to be a good one. Hey, coverage of the Dirt Car Comp Cam Super Dirt Series is brought to you by Day Motorsports. I'm looking for the engines and parts to fly. Oh, we don't have that? Oh, wow. See, Jeremy, I was looking forward to that. We don't have it. What a segue.
What a block there from Charles to not give you that information.
Oh, good. Halfway home, though, down and 20 to go here at the Glen. Race, honestly, you know, Jeremy Stanley, that's going by fairly quick.
Yeah, we're halfway down, halfway to go. It's 10:10 Eastern Standard Time here. We went live, 45 minutes ago. So definitely it's a little bit shorter than the usual races that I call several times a week. And a little bit of a refresher on my end. But other than that, like, it's not been a boring road course race. Some races get really strung out, and that's per car individually. But if you look on your screen right now, you got cars that are nose to tail still. That's just after pit stops. This is after a bunch of things that have gone on the racetrack, and we're still got some cars that are, you know, really close to one another. So it's been a pretty darn entertaining race so far.
Yeah, it certainly has. But, enjoyed it, bringing it to you as well so far. Coverage of iRacing on LSRTV with the Stars and Stripes Racing League of the Butt Kicker Grand Prix here at the Glen. And we got green flag pit stops as well. And this is really going to jumble things up on the race scoring pylon a bit for sure.
It's not too much unexpected when you come to a road course, right? You go halfway in the race. Of course, these guys have enough fuel. So I don't know why the 28 pitted a little bit earlier. That's just maybe a strategy, or his car was just not handling well. But after the halfway mark, you come down pit road, you're not going to lose a lap on a road course headed down pit road. So you're going to take the halfway cut, boom, come down, get your stuff filled back up, get new tires, and set it off to the sunset to the end of the race. So yeah, this is definitely the most busiest time you're going to see this pit road.
And these green flag pit stops, no doubt, is also making a lot of drivers go a lap down or more. As we're seeing now Whitaker fight his way through the inner loop and through the carousel here at the bus stop in the 11th spot. And guys in the top still on pit road, maybe 10 cars on the lead are on the lead lap right now.
Yeah, 12 total, but one's on pit cycle. Oh, we got number 10 there in the wall coming out turn number 6. The second car that we've seen hit that wall, Mark Schrader, car number 2, at least from what we've seen on camera, hit that wall there with the right side rear end of that machine there. And but again, it's not going to affect his performance. It's just going to upset those tires a little bit here. And a little busy bus stop, or I'm going to call it chicane just for a U, so we don't get people confused. Through the chicane. Look, oh, it was 11 really loose there. Thomas all upset as he gets it straightened out here before the straightaway.
And still keeping it going. You see Ogle in the top 10 in the 6th spot, maybe 8, 9 cars on the lead lap. Everyone else is a lap down or more. Jeremy Stanley joining us in the booth. I am Wesley Outlet, as always, with you. Apologize, by the way, for not being able to be with you last Thursday night. I was down in BFE, Georgia, and but Florida-Georgia line, no signal. I tried my best to actually try to connect, and in one iRacing obligation I had before the Stars and Stripes, and it didn't work, and it sounded like I sounded like Optimus Prime, is what somebody told me, and I always wanted to sound like Optimus Prime. But anyway, Jeremy, not with the technical side of those things, so I had to back out, but it's good to be everybody here, and obviously we're having fun at Watkins Glen. And remember, man, when we finish up with tonight, the semifinals are going to be set. 8 drivers are going to become 4. And then 4 drivers are going to battle in the semifinals of the Bracket Challenge.
And if you could fill me in, or maybe someone that's watching that's not 100% on it at this point, like, I know it leads into the playoffs, but how does it set this field for the final 5 races?
So, like, basically, it doesn't. It really does. It's like what you mentioned about the NBA, the bracket challenge. It's basically versus player, driver versus driver. It's just a bragging rights, competing against the drivers. I mean, and then of course once we go into the playoff, nothing really there. It's just having a little fun with the drivers, basically. I like it.
I love it even more. It doesn't tie into anything. It's just for fun. So I thought it had something to do with the playoffs, but just for being a fun midfield or midseason only thing, that's cool. That's even more awesome in my chart there.
It's basically what it is.
This is still a fun race for the first place right now. We see the 68 of Valet. He's 8.5 ahead, but I don't think he's on a complete pit cycle yet. Could be wrong, but I don't see how he could jump up that far in the lead. So we got McCoy that's within 7/10 of the 0.5, and then it just really gaps in from there. You see 9th and 10th place, they're nose to tail, about a second at most difference there, and then everybody else is 1 lap plus. for the most part. But really busy front straightaway right now as we're 15 laps to go here in the Butt Kicker Grand Prix.
Trying to get to the 15 remaining. Pretty calm race. We've had some excitement, but not any kind of calamity or really bad crashes or anything like that. Everybody, I believe, for the most part, is minding their cues around here, honestly. Jeremy. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding there. Been a fun thing to watch so far. The incidents has kind of straightened themselves out after the pit stops, and they got one more, the 68. Here comes your race leader, Valet. The final car, I do believe, to make his green flag pit stop, and that's late into the run there. Shortcut in the back half, but does he going to take too much damage on that really long first stint to make up any ground he can on those fresh set of Goodyear tires? It's always fun to see strategies, but when you're the solo car doing it 15 laps in a road course, now 14 to go, that's going to be a tough way to climb up to the pylon there.
Valle on pit road. There you see the Toyota. Diego Valle on the exit. The purple 68. It's a couple of weeks. It's good to see him back here again. Solid top 10 back on course. Give him to that machine on the outside. As that was the 40 machine, I believe, flying by. Of Thomas. Third remaining with the line. There is Rickard. And there's McCoy. And remember, Jeremy, earlier in the race, McCoy problems. He has battled back to make it to the finish to try to win here.
Excellent battle here. There's a lot of spacing throughout the field, but not for the top two. A second, less than half a second at the line with 13 laps to go. We saw him pass the 29 of James Howard, who gave up the race lead in the chicane section about 15 laps to go. But these two are just continuing to put on a hell of a show for you guys here at LSRTV. Up the hill here through the S's. The 7 of McCoy gets a little sideways, able to keep it going, but he's going to lose a couple of tenths. You see him now plus 7.57, plus 6.7. Gets to the bus stop finally here. I'm sorry, chicane for you. And both have a really clean corner here. It's just some awesome stuff here. Just got to hit your marks, keep those tires fresh, and we're going to see this two-car race potentially all the way to the race end.
McCoy trying to make a run on the entry of Rickard, the leader. Couple of Chevrolets battle there into turn number 8 and not 7 and 8. Watch that sharp turn right there coming off the corner. And they'll come back down to the start-finish line here. 12 laps to go. Hey, we talked about it earlier, Charles. Give us a live look in from on at the dirt track. Little small screen there. What was it? Dirt practice is over, so no more screen, no more live look-ins. No more live look-ins, everybody.
Not going to find that feature anywhere else, that's for sure. They cut off the practice camera, and we don't have that picture-in-picture mode anymore. So I guess we'll have to just stay full screen the rest of the way there, Wesley.
I like dirt, I like pavement, I like straight line, I like all forms of racing. Don't you put me in a box, Charles. Rickard, McCoy, and there you see the 42 coming off the corner there of Grattan. Great Plains 42, Grattan right there. And they better look out patiently behind them, because look who's popping in the rearview mirror there, Jeremy Stanley, and that is the leaders coming after lap traffic into turn 1.
Looks like the 10 easily gets out of the way. Mark Schrader playing the respectable card there to stay wide, let the leaders go by. Leaders have a 7/10 of a second lead with 11 laps to go. So Kyle has been stagnant on any plus or minus gains on the 0-5 of Scott Rickard, who continues to lead this way as we approach 10 laps to go in the Butt Kicker Grand Prix.
Look at the 0-5 wheel and deal inside, outside. Is it more? Entering now off for a cell. The outer loop here at the Glen. You know, it honestly, as we come to 10 to go, Jeremy, the track big, but it's really not that big. They're flying around this track very fast. I mean, the laps are quickly trickling down.
It's the long straightaways, you know. It's not like a Sonoma where you get a bunch of corners. There's so many. There's not even double-digit corners on this configuration at Watkins Glen. 8 corners, and so times go by much faster here when you're running speeds of 150 plus coming up under the bus stop section here. As you're going to see it going to the top of the hill once more, led by the 0-5 of Scott Rickard. They get right now. I'm actually watching my live telemetry on my end. He's 165, 170 before he's on the brakes here. So approaching speedway speeds for sure. A little bit wide on that carousel there. He's got a diamond the corner exit. I love to see that. The 7's playing it conservative right in the bottom of the corner. 0-5 diamonds. The center gets a straighter exit, which helps them on that long straightaway speed, which you're going to need to be in contention for this win. And so the 0-5 playing a little bit more tire wear when you do that, of course, but you get the advantage on the exit with that speed. So he's just doing his part here, and it's working. He's up to a second advantage now over the number 7, Kyle McCoy.
Single digits now with Rickard in the lead. McCoy Howard 1, 2, and 3. And that is the way that they are working around the racetrack, getting some cloud cover now as they work through the S's down the straightaway. With McCoy in that second spot, will lap traffic be a factor for to run down Rickard? Right now, the answer is no. Clearly flying through the field, but he's going around, but just cannot catch the leader, if you will, Jeremy.
That car on your screen that spun through the entrance of the chicane was the number 51, Tom Wiesa, 20th place right now. Just having a continual bad day here, as he might consider parking it as he's creeping through the bus stop, but focus back up here on these group of cars. 542.29. It's James Howard rather. 3rd place, can easily pick off the 42 of Jason Gratton, and gets really loose right there. That car has just been loose ever since about lap 10 on Ford. Just does not have the handle on that number 29.
As you say that, man, the lightning down here. Look at him. Willen and Dillon through the corner. Howard now trying to hold off the likes of Smith. Here comes also some more traffic in front of them. Lap machines, if you will. My apologies. That was Smith way in the back. 12 seconds to Howard. So that's lap traffic that the man right there in 4th place, 3rd place is fighting.
You know, James Howard can just skip the gym tonight. I'm sure he's sweating. He's got a lot of arm work in tonight. He's definitely going to be worn out after this thing's done. I have not seen a single lap where that car has just been solid. And right there, a little more tire spin on the exit. He is just emotionally spent here, mentally spent, just trying to keep that car straight. And he's actually passing cars pretty solid, but then he gets into open, fresh air, and that's where his car really seems to just not like it. He just slides the rear tires there during turn number 8. Pretty clean exit, though, for this one as he gets to his 7 laps to go.
Rickard, McCoy, Howard, Smith, Ogle, top 5. And again, right now, 5 separated by 25 seconds to the Rickard. There is only 12 drivers on the lead lap. 7. Make it 6 remaining here at the Glen when they come to the line. And there's more racing in the back now as the 25 of Lynch. This is to get back on the lead lap or to stay on the lead lap, if you will. Lynch a lap down.
Yeah, these 3 cars nose to tail for position on your screen right here. Really good stuff between these guys here. We saw the 42 get a little loose there on turn number 1, really wide on corner X. It gives up the spot, at least one spot, and has to get it back. But pretty good, strong stuff right here lately going.
We're going to move forward, I believe is what I was told, is we're going to go back into the top 10, or outside the top 10. This is Hammond in the Cowie Cafe, number 66 Camaro, battling with Lynch. This is on the best battle on the racetrack for the lead lap cars, 11th and 12th with 6 remaining now, Jeremy.
6 to go. It's about 10 minutes total before we're going to see the checker flags wave here for the Butt Kicker Grand Prix. Strong battle here, 66, really good through the bus stops. Going to break away about 3 car lengths over the number 24 of Lynch. When you get through the carousel here, the 24 elects to go wide and does not get back to the bottom of the corner. Going to give up some of that speed as Hammond is really going to pull away, but the draft for Lynch is going to bring him back in just a little. Heavy on the brakes here. Wide goes Hammond. It's going to even help the 24 more. Get to turn number 8, final corner before we get to the start-finish line. And they're just equally matched on lap time. They just cannot break away from one another. Continue to be 3 to 5 car lengths difference every single lap.
Yeah, they're really fun watching here, no doubt. As you see now, the battle continuing. Yeah, look at this battle that continues here between Hammond and Lynch. And you're going uphill. Not a big hill climb, but you're going uphill. Going through those S's and working the back stretch. And just can't get it.
Tires are worn. You don't have much weight in the rear because the gas has been depleted. You're trying to climb uphill with worn tires and no weight on the rear. It's a really tough task to feather the throttle. A lot of throttle management climbing up that hill. Might not seem like a lot from just watching a broadcast, but when you're in that car, you've seen the 29 of Howard. He's just been all over the map, and that's because he's just a little heavier on the throttle, causing those tires to spin. And number 30 on pit road here, Robinson gives up 7.
Yeah, Robinson pitting with about 5 laps to go. Boy, you got to think, could we see some more people pit here? Could they not go the distance? And Robinson overshot his pit box.
I don't know. That's a great question to ask. A lot of these drivers did pit on lap 2021, so I think they're going to be good for sure, but we saw quite a few pit prior. So I don't know if they're going to be right on edge or if they can't do it. Obviously, the 30, Joshua Robinson, thought he could not do it, so he had to come down pit road just to top off and get this final 4 laps done. But yeah, who else is on edge? I'm not too sure here. Yeah, a little bit more of an issue here,
man,
Wesley.
I'm done. Yeah, the Robinson says, man, I might be done here. Or he put himself in such bad of a box, he's not going to try to fight to get out of it, if you will. Yeah, understanding something's going on with him. He's going to be out of it. Nonetheless, through the S's come the leaders. This is the battle in the back, and they are a lap down now. Look at these lap down machines fighting like it's for the win on the racetrack, if you will, Jeremy.
Yeah, this is the 81 trying the outside now of the number 25, Nate Lynch. I'm going to get through turn 7 and 8 here. Let's see if he can clear. I think the 81's just on a little bit fresher tire, but he's having a trouble time getting around Nate to get to turn 8. The 42, Jason Grayton, really loose on corner exit there. And here comes the 81 back to the inside, trying to get around him once more. Getting to turn number 1 and makes the pass finally.
Round 13 tonight of the season. In the Butt Kicker Grand Prix at the Glen. 3 laps to go, 2 remaining for the leaders for Rickard and company. There you see the Budweiser Lynch machine trying to run down Hammond. By the way, Whitaker in 9th on the lead lap. 9 cars on the lead lap. That's it. There you see a guy like Smith right there. And Jeremy, he's in 4th. Behind them is all of this lap traffic as they battle.
A lot of different strategies on pit road are going to cycle things like this. It is going to get real crazy here around this part of the track here for the remaining 2.5 laps here. We are really close to that 2 laps to go marker, so we're going to have just over 2 or just under 2.5 minutes left in this race for the Butt Kicker Grand Prix. Focusing back on your race leader, Mr. Scott Rickard in the 0-5, up to a 2.8 second advantage. Kyle has just destroyed his tires in comparison, and Mr. Rickard is setting sail for this victory.
In his own world.
Got to get around this lap traffic. Oh, as the 40 gets really wide there through the bus stop, and going to cause no harm to Scott. Goes through turn 6 now. Now he's got a little bit of fresh air in front of him before he gets to the next lap down car, which is about 10-15 ahead of him. It's going to cause no problem, at least for the next half lap.
Coming to the end of this one. As right now the laps winding down here in the Butt Kicker Grand Prix at the Glen. And remember, there's also that bottle in the bracket challenge that will kind of arrow out as the race comes to an end too. As right now, here comes Rickard coming to the line. There's the white flag. It is the CRN 1 to go as the leader goes off course. Rickard in trouble off the track. Can McCoy run him down? I don't think he can get there just yet. Wow.
From a 2.5 second advantage to just about 1 second. Huge mental error. That could have been way worse, but thankfully he built that lead up to put him at least in a semi-comfortable spot now. Just don't do that here for the last half of the lap, and you've got this, man. You just got open traffic or open track now. Nobody in front of him. Don't make another mistake, and you got this. 2 more corners remaining here in the Butt Kicker Grand Prix.
I was about to say, don't make no mistakes. Don't overreach. You're at the home stretch. You've done everything you need to do. Just kind of be patient, as it was a little hard into the corner into turn 1. We saw that a lot during qualifying, kind of not during the race until just that moment ago. But whatever the case, Jeremy will work off the corner. There you see McCoy in his sights, but it's not enough. Scott Rickard is going to win here at the Glen of the Butt Kicker Grand Prix.
Excellent job here by Scott coming into this race. Had some big motivation, being your points leader, 47 ahead of Kyle McCoy, and P1 and 2 in the points. Also finishes P1 and 2 here in tonight's event for race 13 of 20. Job well done here by the 0-5 and the 7.
Everybody coming across the line, taking the checkered flag. And man, if I'm counting correctly, 6 cars on the lead lap when this race ends, unless I'm making a mistake here on timing and scoring. Scott Rickard, 6 cars. I was just told in my ear from my producer, 6 cars. Charles Witten confirms it on the lead lap when this race ended here. Boy.
Yep, 7th through 17th, only 1 lap down, so a 10 car stretch right there. And then only 3 that are 2 laps down, and then it gets pretty big numbers from there. So more cars in the 1 lap down versus the on the lead lap.
Let the celebration begin for Scott Rickard. Chevrolet Camaro burning it up at the start-finish line here at the Glen. How about that? What a run. And obviously, no cautions. But we will look at the Virginia811.com race summary, even though we didn't have any yellow flags. And there you see it. 4 lead changes when it was all said and done amongst the 3 drivers. That's brought to you by Virginia811.com, reminding you to dig with care. All right, Jeremy Stanley, let's take a look at the results here tonight in the Butt Kicker Grand Prix at the Glen. Scott Rickard will pick up the victory. Kyle McCoy, if he would have been just a little bit closer whenever he spun, I think that could have really changed things up. James Howard will settle for 3rd. Christopher Smith, 4th. Thomas Ogle, 5th, 28 seconds back. Derek Offerman is 6th, 1 minute, 7 seconds back, but he's on the lead lap when the checker flag fell here, obviously, Jeremy. And then it's Trey Jackson, Josh Whitaker, Brian Lynch, Greg Hammond. 1 lap down or more, the rest of the rundown of the unofficial results from Watkins Glen.
Jason Grayton, 11th. 12th, Zach Kreitz. 13th, Nate Lynch. 14th will be Mark Schrader. 15th, Diego Valle. 16th, Temmie McNally. 17th will be Dylan Grimm. 18th, Andrew Hess. 19th, Ryan Lynch. 20th, Tom Wiese. 21st, Paul Thomas. 22nd, Joshua Robinson. 23rd, Mark Fish. 24th, William Duff. 25th, James Waldo. And the last one to start is going to be Zachary Smith, and the 91 who finishes P26 to round out tonight's Butt Kicker Grand Prix.
Yeah, man, that's the way it all shakes out whenever it's all said and done. And again, when it is over, Scott Rickard will pick up the win. We are going to step away and get our drivers for post-race interviews. Don't go anywhere. We'll also narrow out the 4 drivers that are in the semifinals for the On the Throttle podcast bracket challenge, and we preview next week as well. This is iRacing on LSRTV, the Stars and Stripes Racing League. Well, we'll make this very fast. Welcome back to coverage of the post-race wrap-up show here for the Stars and Stripes Racing League. The Butt Kicker Grand Prix at the Glen is officially over, and Scott Rickard has picked up the win. Scott, congratulations, man, on that stranglehold for the points regular season championship, and the run to the playoffs looked very strong in sight. Your take of surviving the road course here tonight at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, it's my home track, so I do love winning here. It's my home track for us. Yeah, love road course racing in general. So it's always nice to have a fun time on these road courses and be fast enough to win them a lot. But I did almost throw it away in the last lap in turn 1.
Yeah, you really did, though, man. 2.5 second lead, almost 3 seconds. You barrel it off into turn number 1, and we're like, oh my god, what is going to happen here? But you still gained it up and picked up the pace up there. You got at the top of the S the second and a half ahead, so great recovery there. And we were just cheering for you to make sure you didn't make any other mistakes. But yeah, job well done out there, man, tonight. Who do you got to thank before we let you go here this evening?
Everybody in the team to put the league on. My dog. You guys for broadcasting.
Fun times, for sure. Definitely. Scott Rickard gets it done. And the driver of the 05 Tire Pros, the man from New York. His hometown win right there. And that is number 05. And we don't have third place, so let's just grab the runner-up, our buddy, Kyle McCoy. Kyle, I got to say this before I go anywhere. Where did the idea come up with of rechanging the wrap on your car? I love it. I like it.
Thanks, man. I don't know. This has been a kind of fun scheme throughout the year. I love those Celsius drinks, and so I'm a big proponent of promoting what you believe in, right? And that's something that I love and something that got me through a couple of busy seasons in public accounting. So big shout out to those guys. Before you let me go, I gotta apologize to James Howard. I got into him just a little bit. It was so tough to pass out there tonight, and I kind of spotted my opportunity and just sent it in the last corner and slid up a little bit and got into him. I killed myself more than anybody else, so I'm happy it didn't hurt anybody too bad, but I gotta apologize to him as well.
Info on that there. And my question to you too is, you were catching Scott there, and then all of a sudden you got 5, 6, 7 tenths, and then he just fell off there. Did you give it a little too much, a little too early, and burn up the rear tires there trying to catch him toward the end?
Yeah, I felt good. Honestly, I just was trying to not make any mistakes, and there were a couple in there. I think I caught lap cars back to back going into the bus stop and had to try to work my way through. And that hurt me a little bit. It's obviously as the leader you're going to get that preference, right? So that was tough, but yeah, I burned him up a little bit. I ran a really blazing lap without really trying to early on in that thing, and I think it just kind of tapered off from there. And Scott's so good at this place, and once you give him a little bit of rhythm, he's just going to drive away from you anyway. So I kind of tried to put the pressure on him early and see if I could get him to make a couple mistakes. I saw his right rear pop out a couple times and was thinking maybe I would have a shot at it, and then he about blew it on the last lap. I have vivid memories of Jeff Gordon doing the same thing back in, I don't know, 07, missing that first corner and letting Tony Stewart by. So I was having a little bit of good flashbacks for that. But yeah, I gave it everything I had. Wish I hadn't spun myself out on lap 12. I think I had a pretty fast piece before that. But yeah, we'll take a 1-2 for sure with the team, and really happy with the overall night.
Well, there you go. The thoughts of Kyle McCoy, and of course, Kyle, if I want to say in closing, I think you're the highest man also in the bracket challenge. What's your take of making it to the semifinals, brother?
Yeah, pumped to make it through again. Thanks to On the Throttle and William for putting this thing on. Love the podcast, by the way. That's a really fun listen if you want to go check it out. But he's putting this bracket challenge on, and I'm sneaking through the rounds one by one. They're pretty heavy hitting right now. I think I got Tom or Chris and then Scott, and I don't even know who it was tonight. I was just trying to finish as high as I could and make sure I put myself through, and I knew it wasn't Scott, so I had to be okay. So we're pumped about that. Next week's my home track in Iowa. I don't know who I've got there, but it's going to be a battle no matter how you slice it. And then Talladega at the end when we put the final four cars together and just kind of roll the dice to see what happens, right? So if I can get there, I'll be really happy with that. But yeah, pumped to move through again. Again, thanks to William and On the Throttle for putting this on, and thanks to Nate and Verizon, all the league sponsors, and thanks to you guys for putting this thing on. It's been a blast this year, and yeah, go ahead.
You have advanced to the Ricky Bobby Brewster Baker bracket. Which one would you rather like to be in?
Oh man, sounds like I don't know who Brewster Baker is. So I have to go Ricky Bobby. I'm gonna have to do some research.
Oh, Brewster Baker, dude.
I'm gonna have to do some research tonight.
6-pack.
I'm not saying isn't that 6-pack, and I know that.
I got to do some research tonight. I'll check it out and make sure I've got myself up to snuff for next week. So.
McCoy, thank you, brother.
Appreciate it, guys.
Well, on to the next race next week in Iowa, the semifinals, and then, of course, the final at Talladega. So, Jeremy Stanley, fun working with you for your first time, man, tonight. Hopefully we'll do it again. You're taking up tonight's event here at the Watkins Glen Raceway, brother.
Watkins Glen's always a fun track to watch on any broadcast. This one especially did not disappoint. There was action around the whole entire track all night long, and a lot of good passes, a lot of clean, fun racing, and I enjoyed it, man. Good to work with you for once. I've been hearing your voice a lot, so got to step in and kind of help out, and it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Well, hopefully we'll do it again for sure. Thanks very much, man. On behalf of everybody at iRacing on LSRTV, Rocket Racing Media, for Jeff Stabnow, Charles Wooten, our producer director as well, for Mr. Jeremy Stanley, this is Wesley Outley. Congratulations to, again, New York's Scott Rickard, Taman Watkins Glen. He gets the butt kicker award as he has put the boot on them all in the Stars and Stripes Racing League tonight. We'll see you next week in Iowa. Good evening.